All right, let's talk about one of the most interesting and maybe one of the most frustrating ways to structure a company, the matrix organization. Is it this amazing grid for success, or is it just a recipe for total chaos? Let's get into it.
So, let me ask you something. Does your organization ever feel stuck? Trapped in these departmental silos, where getting anything done feels like you're trying to send smoke signals between different teams? Yeah, that feeling? That slow communication where everyone's just in their own little world? That's exactly the problem the matrix structure was invented to fix.
So, how do you actually go about breaking down those walls? Well, one of the big ideas is the matrix structure. Think of it as a hybrid model. It basically takes the traditional company hierarchy and overlays these dynamic project teams right on top, trying to give you the best of both worlds.
Okay, so what is it really? At its heart, the matrix structure is a grid. And here's the absolute key takeaway, the most important part. Employees have dual reporting relationships. Yep, you heard that right. You report to two bosses. You've got your functional manager, say the head of marketing, and you also have a project manager who's in charge of a specific initiative you're working on.
And this is what it looks like in practice. See how the columns are your typical departments? You've got sales, marketing, engineering, the usual suspects. But the rows, those are different projects. So what happens is an engineer and a marketer might get pulled from their departments to work together on, let's say, Project 1. They still have their main boss back in their department, but now they also report to the Project 1 manager. Two bosses, one grid.
And when this whole thing works, wow, it is incredibly powerful. It can really unlock collaboration and make a company super flexible. So let's talk about the good stuff first, the real strengths of this structure.
The cool thing is that all these benefits really build on each other. When you mix people from different teams, you get this amazing cross-pollination of ideas that just sparks innovation. It also means you can move resources around to where they're needed most, which makes the whole company way more agile. And because information is flowing sideways, not just from the top down, people can make smarter decisions. For employees, it's honestly a fantastic way to learn new skills, but they still have that home base in their department to go back to. It's pretty neat.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? It's definitely not all sunshine and roses. The very same complexity that makes the matrix so powerful, that's also its biggest weakness. So let's get our reality check and dive into the challenges.
Okay, let's break down these potential landmines. First up, role ambiguity. This is the big one. What do you do when your two bosses give you totally conflicting instructions? Yeah, chaos. And that naturally slows everything down because now you've got multiple managers who all need to sign off on decisions. The workload, it can get pretty intense. You're juggling your regular day job with all these project tasks, and burnout is a real risk. Plus, all this extra management costs more money. And finally, how in the world do you get a fair performance review when your responsibilities are split between two different people? It gets complicated fast.
This just perfectly sums up the nightmare scenario of a matrix that's gone wrong. It becomes, quote, a place where everyone can say no and no one can say yes. Can you imagine? When authority is so spread out and everyone has a say, you can get total gridlock. Projects just stall because it's impossible to get a clear, final decision.
So if it's that risky, you might be wondering, how does any company make this work? Well, it turns out there are some very clear strategies for avoiding all that chaos and actually getting the benefits.
It really comes down to these four essential pillars for a healthy matrix. First, and this is non-negotiable, you have to define clear roles. Who has the final say on what? You need to know that. Second, you can't just throw people together and hope for the best. You have to build a cooperative culture, and that means actually investing in training for things like conflict resolution. Third, balance the power. You need a clear process for what happens when managers disagree, so it's not just one side always steamrolling the other. And finally, accountability. Make the goals measurable so everyone knows who owns each deliverable. No pointing fingers.
Okay, so when it's all said and done, the matrix structure just isn't for everyone. It's a really specific strategic choice that has to line up with your company's goals and the kind of market you're playing in.
So where does it thrive? The matrix absolutely shines in these super dynamic, competitive industries. Think tech, consulting, aerospace, where you need to be agile and innovative just to survive. It's perfect for rapid product development. But if you're in a more stable, cost-driven market where efficiency is king, all that complexity and the higher overhead costs, they're probably not worth it. A simpler, more straightforward structure is almost always a better fit. And really, it all comes back to this one number. Two bosses. That single design choice is what creates both the incredible potential for collaboration and the huge risk of confusion and conflict. It is the defining feature, and you have to manage it perfectly for the whole system to actually work.
And that really leaves us with a big question for you to think about. When you look at your organization's strategy, does it need the creative chaos of a grid, or does it need the focused efficiency of a straight line? The answer to that is what tells you whether a matrix would be a powerful tool for success or just a really well-designed recipe for chaos.